Hi, welcome to Mr. Hanson Math. I'm Mr. Hanson. Let me help you with some math. Today we're going to solve one-step equations, but this is going to be part 3 video. I've already done 2 parts, and I kind of laid it out here. This is a little sketch plan. So if you watch this video and it's way too complicated for you, that's because we're on part 3. You go back to part 1, I did the simple, straightforward ones, plus, minus, times, and divide. And then on part 2, I did plus, minus, times, divide, but I did with fractions and decimals and some negatives and stuff. Okay, now part 3 is going to ramp it up to when they put the letter of the alphabet in the wrong spot. Your teacher's going to call it a variable. It's not. It's actually an unknown quantity. But when they put the unknown quantity in the middle or on the other side of the equation or all the way off to the right or something, they put it in the wrong spot. You got to be able to deal with that. And so this is going to be the highest level of one steps that we're going to have. So let's just get started with 4 plus x equals 13. I'm going to put the rules down and we'll get started with that problem. The same thing with part 1 and part 2. Is we're going to be doing opposite operator, same number. Opposite operator, same number. And then, but what's an operator? We're going to talk about what's an operator. Okay, so operators, there's lots of math operators, believe me. But the main things what we're going to be doing with is we're going to deal with plus, minus, times, divide. The opposite of plus is minus, the opposite of minus is plus, the opposite of times is divide, the opposite of divide is times. So what do we say our problem was? Our problem is 4 plus x equals the 13. 4 plus x equals 13. And I'll just be honest with you, right here with part 3. These are going to take more than 1 steps. I know it says 1 steps, opposite operator, but what we got to do is we got to set it up, and then it's 1 step. We just got to set it up first. So it'll require an extra step or 2. I'm just telling you up front. It is more complicated. But you can sit there and get them wrong if you want. Go ahead and do it your way. Go ahead and keep getting them wrong. No, how about not? How about you do it my way? Takes a step or 2 to set it up, and then it's 1 step and you solve it and you get it right. Nobody likes doing this. I know it. Nobody likes math. Everybody looks at this, they vomit all over the place. I got to clean up after it. So, but the bottom line is I want you to be successful at this. I know it takes a little bit of time and whatever, but you take the time and you'll be fine. The step, the setting up process is getting the unknown quantity on the left. You need that sucker to get all the way to the left. That's where it belongs, and that's where you can solve it like a normal person. And I got nerds sitting there, yeah, but Mr. Hanson, I know how to solve this one. Yeah, cool, congratulations. Congratulations, nerd. Okay, there are other ways to solve it, and faster ways and quicker ways, but that's for ways that people already know how to do it, not for people learning how to do it. My video is not the fastest way. My video is to help the people that are learning how to do this, that don't understand this. They're confused. So you guys pipe down or whatever, go complain about it in the comments section where nobody looks. But I'm going to teach people that are confused and don't understand it because they got these problems. They got to solve this. They got this garbage on their homework. I got to tell them how to do it. Okay, step number 1, get that unknown quantity all the way to the left. In this case, I can take advantage of the commutative property of addition. What? The commutative property of addition. And if you don't know what that means, you need to watch this video right now. You need to watch this video right now. Commutative property of addition. That's why I made it, because you need to have that skill. So go watch commutative property of addition, come back and finish this video. Now, I'm going to do it, and if you're confused, that's your fault, not mine. I'm not going to explain that again. My video is too big. Look, I'm a couple minutes in, I haven't even started. So go watch that video on your own time. I'm going to pretend you already watched it. Pretend, hopefully I don't have to pretend. Okay, whatever. Commutative property of addition, I'm going to switch the numbers. Commute means travel. Instead of 4 plus x, I'm going to put x plus 5. So x plus 5 equals 13. That was my 1 step of setting it up. Now that this is on the left, the x is on the left, now I can do opposite operator. If you already seen part 1 and part 2, this is very straightforward. Instead of plus 5, it's minus 5. Opposite operator, same number, but whenever you do that side of the equation, you got to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. Minus 5 to this side, minus 5 to this side, plus 5 minus 5 is 0. Plus 5 minus 5 is 0, that's why it cancels. X plus 0 is x, and 13 minus 5 is the 9. There you go, there's your answer. You go back and check it, 4 plus 9 equals 13. We got it right. Okay, well, let's get cruising. What if it's negative 25 equals x plus n? What if they got the x on the wrong side of the equal sign? They got way over there. What am I supposed to do about that? Well, let me show you something. What happens is if you have 4 plus 1 equals 5, if this equals this, guess what? This equals this. I can put the 5 over here and the 5 plus 1 over here. 5 equals 5 plus, yeah, it's still equal. I don't care if you have if this thing equals this thing, you can just switch them because they're equal. That's what equals means. They're the same thing. Switch side, I don't care. Sin minus 2 equals 5. Sin minus 2 equals 5. We'll switch them. I could put phi over here. I could put sin minus 2 over here. Now don't flip them. Don't put 2 minus sin. You know, don't flip them like that and put 2. No, you put it in the same order. Put it in the same order, like sin minus 2, you need to put sin minus 2. What I do is I pick it up like a crane, I move it over, and I drop it off. I just take the sin minus 2 as a package. I go, I pick it up, put it on the other side, sin minus 2. Okay, what if you got 6 plus 3 equals 9? Well, pick them up and as a package, put them in the same order. Don't flip nothing. Don't put 3 plus 6. In this case, commutative property of addition is okay, but when you get to subtractions, it's not going to be okay, so don't get in the habit of it. So this one I can switch, put the 9 over here, and put a 6 plus 3 in the same order on the other side, 9 equals 6 plus 3. Anything that equals anything, you can just switch sides. Just switch sides, pick them up. Okay, so let's do that. Right here, I got negative 25 equals x plus sin. I don't care what the numbers are, but I know that they're equal, so I can go. I write them in the same order, x plus sin. Put that over here, put it equals, and then put this on the other side, negative 25. Now I got a problem, looks like a normal person, and you can solve it. You can solve this. This looks like a part 1 video. In fact, it's that simple. We went from being really tough, not knowing how to do it, to being like video 1, part 1. That's how easy this is, how straightforward. Opposite operator, same number. I have a plus, the opposite is minus. I have a 7, same number. I'm a minus 7 to that side of the equation. I got a minus 7 to that side of the equation, so minus sin. Cross this out because that's 0. Plus 7 minus 7 equals 0. X plus x, 0 equals x. Now on this side, I got to subtract integers. If you don't know how to do this, watch my subtract integers video. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to do it. You need to watch my subtract integers video though. So 2 pen strokes plus a negative. I got 25 bad guys plus sin bad guys. If I got 25 bad guys plus sin bad guys, they're on the same team, so they team up. I add the numbers. 25 plus sin is 32. Bad guys plus bad guys is more bad guys. So that's going to be negative 32. That's what the answer would be. X equals negative 32. Okay, how about D divided by negative 1/2 equals far. I did a problem kind of like this right at the end of part 2 in case maybe you could stretch it and figure it out. But I'll do it right now, I'll explain it. What we're going to do is opposite operator, same number. Opposite operator, same number. If you have a divide by a negative fraction, I don't care. The divide by is the operator. That fraction bar is the divide by sign. So this is a divide by this number. The opposite of divide by negative 1/2 is times by negative 1/2. So I'm going to times by negative 1/2. But if you times by negative 1/2 on that side, you got to times by negative 1/2 on that side. Times by whatever you do to one side of the equation, you got to do the same side of the other equation. Okay, and again, I put up in the numerator, don't be lazy and put it down here. Negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 is positive 1/4, and it doesn't cancel, and you got garbage, and you did it wrong anyway. Okay, so this is actually the numerator. Again, I put it in part 2. I explained this. I put it in part 2. This is actually the numerator, and this is actually the denominator, so these cancel. Negative times negative or negative divided by negative, I don't care how you think of it. Either way they cancel, positive. And then 1/2 divided by 1/2 is 1. Any number divided by itself except 0 equals 1. So 1 times D equals the D. And then 4 times negative 1/2. I'm not going to do it. Just put it in your calculator. I'm not going to take the steps to explain it. My video is too long. Go watch multiplying integers, multiply fractions video. Okay, so this one's going to be negative 2. Negative 2. D equals negative 2. 4 times negative 1/2 equals negative 2. Let's keep moving. Let's say 372.6 equals negative 60 plus C. They got the unknown quantity all the way over there. Guess what? I don't care. I don't care. You just go. Whenever you got a number that equals a number, you can just switch the sides. You can just switch the sides, but in the same order. Don't be flipping and kind of. So I know C needs to be on the left anyway, so I'm just gonna get it wrong. Is what you're gonna do. So just pick it up, the same order. So negative 67.3 plus C, negative 67.3 plus C equals. And I'm gonna put this number on the other side. So 372.6. Okay, now I notice my unknown quantity is still not in the right spot. I need it to be all the way to the left. So even though I still need to also do the commutative property of addition and switch these two numbers. So switch these two numbers. Instead of negative 67.3 plus C, I have C plus negative 67.3. On the other side, I'm going to keep the same. All I did is switch these ones on this side. The commutative property of addition. Okay, so when I'm solving equations is the only time I don't do plus and negative. When I'm solving equations is the only time I don't do plus and negative. 2 pen strokes, that's what I'm trying to talk about. You know I do 2 pen strokes all the time. Well, this time I can turn subtraction to plus and negative. I can also turn plus and negative to subtraction. I'm going to turn this thing back to some big fat minus, BFM, big fat minus. Big fat minus. Okay, so now I'm going to do 1 step. It took me this time 2 steps, and now I got my 1 steps. This is actually a 3 steps, even though it says 1 steps. But I told you, you got to take the steps to set it up. You can try and do this in your head, and maybe you get it right, maybe you don't. To be honest, maybe. You might, honestly. But man, if you do it this way, you're almost guaranteed to get it right. You just eliminate the possibilities for error. Okay, so opposite operator. The opposite of minus is plus, and it can keep the same number, so 67.3. 67.3. But if you plus 67.3 on this side, you got a plus 67.3 on this side. So plus 67.3. Minus 67.3 plus 67.3 is 0. C minus 0 is C. And 372.6 plus 67.3, that's probably 439.9, I think. Let's see if I'm right. 439.9. 439.9. I think I got it. Okay, that was a lot of steps. But I don't care, I got it right. I don't care how many steps it takes, to be honest. I got it right. Even though it says 1 step. So you gotta set it up and solve the 1 steps. But these are complicated, I'm gonna keep going. Negative 8 equals h minus 0.5. Negative 8 equals h minus 0.5. I got the unknown quantity on the wrong side of the equal sign. So I got to go put them in the same order. H minus 0.5 equals negative 8. I'm going to put this stuff right here. I'm going to put this stuff on the other side. Okay, the opposite of minus 0.5. Opposite operator, the opposite of minus is plus. I'm going to go plus 0.5 to both sides. Plus 0.5. Plus 0.5 to that side, you got plus 0.5 to that side. So minus 0.5 plus 0.5 is 0. H minus 0 is H. Negative 8 plus 0.5. Negative 8 plus 0.5. That's negative 7.5. Negative 7.5. If you got 8 bad guys on this side and half a good guy, this half a good guy is going to kill half of the bad guy. So you've got 8 bad guys and half of them dies, you got 7.5 bad guys. So, or just use your calculator, whatever. Okay, keep cruising. V plus negative 3 equals the 16. Now I gave a hint to you earlier on how to do this. I accidentally did it over here, I think. What happens if you have a plus and negative? Well, I'll show you both ways. I'll put it over here too. V plus negative 3 equals the 16. Let me show you first the big long way that nobody likes, and you don't have to do it. The opposite of plus a negative 3 is minus a negative 3. But if I'm going to minus negative 3 to this side, I have to minus negative 3 to this side. And plus a negative 3 minus negative 3, that's 0. V plus 0 is V. And we know that minus a negative is really 2 pen strokes plus, and the answer is 19. So 19 good guys plus 3 bad guys is 16 good guys. Sure enough, that was our answer. But I don't want to deal with this minus and negative and 2 pen strokes. It's too much work. I might make an error. I'm trying to avoid possibilities of error. So when you see plus and negative, the only time I do big subtractions is when I'm doing equations. When I'm solving equations, which is what we're doing. When you're solving equations, you want to change this plus and negative to a BFM. Big fat minus. We know that subtraction is really plus and negative plus and negative is really subtraction. They're the same thing. So plus and negative is subtraction, and subtraction is plus and negative. That's what 2 pen strokes is. So I'm going to change this to a BFM. Now it's like video 1. This is part 1 video right here. That's how straightforward this one is. Opposite operator, same number. Minus 3, plus 3. But if you plus 3 to that side, you got a plus 3 to that side. Plus 3. Minus 3 plus 3, that's 0. V minus 0 is V. 16 plus 3 is the 19. And that was the same answer that we got, but we didn't have to deal with minus, negative, and 2 pen strokes and stuff like that. You can avoid that stuff, that extra work. I'm not afraid of doing extra work when I need to, but this is unnecessary and might cause you a mistake. I would just change it to a BFM and then just add to both sides. That's what I would do. Because that's what you're doing. Remember, we added. That's what we're doing. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding. That's what we're doing. Same thing. All right, negative 1/4 equals k divided by 3/5. I get all kinds of problems. Divide, nobody likes it. I got the k on the wrong side. I got fractions. I got negatives. Guess what? I don't care. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take all this junk and pick it up and put it on the other side. So k over 3/5. Put all that stuff right there. I'm going to put all that stuff right there. All I did is switch sides. Okay, now this is part 2. This is part 2 because of the fraction. It's like part 1, but part 2, that was a fraction. I'll be honest with you. This is part 1. This is a part 2 video where you divide by 3/5. The opposite of divide by 3/5 is times by 3/5. But times by 3/5 in the numerator, don't be lazy and get that down here in the denominator. No, it's wrong. It's incorrect. Nobody put it down here. Don't put it down there. And you times 3/5 on that side of the equation. You got times 3/5 on that side of the equation. So times 3/5 to both sides. So right here, I got times 3/5 times 3/5. 3/5 divided by 3/5. Again, this is divide by because you're going straight across. This is numerator, this is denominator. So 3/5 divided by 3/5 is Juan. And a Juan times K is K. Right here, I multiply straight across. -1 times 3 is -3. 5 times 5 is 20. The answer is -3/20. -3/20. That's the answer. Again, the negative stays with the numerator, not the denominator. This is a positive down here in the denominator. The answer is negative. Okay, so now let's look at -1/6 equals -2/3 plus A. -1/6 equals -2/3 plus A. I got lots of problems. I got the inequality on the wrong side. I got fractions. I got negatives. I got big problems. All I got to do is set it up and then one step. Set it up, one step. To set it up, I recognize the A is on the wrong side. So I'm going to go. Put it in the same order. Don't be switching nothing. Even if you can, don't do it. Okay, -2/3 plus A. -2/3 plus A. I'm going to just put it in the same order. Just right there. And then this thing goes right there. So -1/6. That's what goes right here. Still got a problem. I can't solve this. Well, I mean, I can, but I'm not going to. I can't solve this unless the A is all the way on the left. So I'm going to use the commutative property of addition. I'm going to switch those two. Instead of -2/3 plus A, I'm going to go A plus -2/3. A plus -2/3 equals, this still is -1/6. That doesn't change. That doesn't change. Okay, and I told you when we're doing solving equations, I don't deal with plus and negative. I change them back to subtract. I go backwards. Usually, I always change my subtract to plus and negative so I don't make mistakes. But when we're doing equations, that's the one time where it's actually beneficial to you if you change it to a BFM. So put a BFM right here. Big fat minus. The opposite of -2/3 is +2/3. So put +2/3 on this side and +2/3 on this side. -2/3 +2/3 is 0/3 or 0. 0 divided by 3 is 0. So A minus 0 is A. And then -1/6 plus 2/3, that's going to be 1/2. -1/6 plus 2/3 is 1/2. Just really quick, you can times this by 2/2. That's going to be 4/6. So -1/6 plus 4/6 is 3/6, which simplifies to 1/2. So A equals 1/2. Okay, how about this one? -3/5 zebra equals -6/5. -3/5 Z equals -6/5. You know from watching my videos, when there's a number touching a letter, a variable or an unknown quantity, there's always an implied multiplication there. So that's the multiply. That's the operator, not this divide. This whole thing is one number. You treat that fraction as a number. And then there's the times. So the opposite of times by -3/5 is divide by -3/5. But if you times that, divide by -3/5 on that side, you got to divide by -3/5 on that side. So divide by -3/5. Divide by negative divided by negative is a positive. 3/5 divided by 3/5 is 1. +1 times Z is just Z. And then I told you if you're dividing fractions, invert and multiply. Invert means upside down and multiply straight across, SA. So invert and multiply. Instead of -3/5, I'm going to put -5/3. And I always keep my negative in the numerator. You notice, I don't care if it's a 3 or a 5, I always keep it in the numerator. I'm going to switch it. Instead of 3/5, I'm going to put 5/3. The negative stays in the numerator, and then I multiply straight across. Negative times a negative is a positive. 6 times 5 is 30. And 5 times 3 is 15. And that simplifies to 2. 30 divided by 15 is 2. Let's hit another one. We'll do the last one right here. -1.44 equals 1.2y. Look, I don't care if they're decimals. I don't care if they're... The main thing is I need that y to be all the way to the left. I need it to be on the left side of the equal sign. It's on the wrong side. So I'm going to put 1.2y on this side and put -1.44 on this side. Okay, so, and now I got it times. I have even though it's a decimal, if you have a number touching a letter of the alphabet, a variable or an unknown quantity, there is a multiply right there. The opposite of times by 1.2 is divide by 1.2. And if I divide that side by 1.2, I guess to divide that side by 1.2. Any number divided by itself, except for 0, is 1. And so 1 times y is y. and then negative divided by positive is a negative, and 1.44 divided by 1.2 is 1.2. So that's my answer. Y equals negative 1.2. So I got to tell you, this was pretty sophisticated. This was some difficult one-step equations. I'll be honest with you. If you followed this, you're going to be fantastic. You're going to ace the part 1 and part 2 videos. All that was straightforward and maybe some fractions. I did wrong side, wrong place, negatives, fractions, decimals. I did it all. And if you're good at this, remember I told you at the beginning of part 1 video, the problem with one steps is so many different ways they can ask. That's the difficulty. That was what I mentioned. If you remember the beginning of part 1, the difficulty is with how many different ways they can ask the question. Even though the answer, the process is only one step, opposite operator, sometimes you need to do some setting up before you can do that one step. But you're good at it. Get that letter of the alphabet all the way to the left side. If you need to go, then do it. If you need to commutative property of addition, then do it. But do what you need to do. Get that sucker on the left, and then solve the one step. Okay, hey, nice work, fellas. Nice work, you guys. Congratulations, and in the meantime, never stop learning.